All right, shalom, shalom, shalom. Top of the morning to you. Time is 7:39 a.m. May 13th, 2025 AD. Before I begin this epistle, this lesson, this um, edification, I want to say Kal Halayim, La Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem, Harakah Kodash, Ma'amath. Double honor, double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and their elders. Shalom to you, Akim, and Akwatim, and children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth. It's going to be a quick edification. I got a topic on my spirit. Kind of not really sure what angle I want to reach the point from, so it may take a few days to reach the point that's on my spirit. But so I want to go through a couple scriptures and let's just start the walk from there. All right. The title of the lesson is "The City of God." We know God. The word God means power, and our power is Yahweh. All right. And Yasha Allah means he is a prince with the powers, or he is a prince of the power. So without Yahweh with us, we have no power. All right. And we have no city um until Yahweh Shai um has established the foundation with the disciples, starting with Peter on to Paul and up to us today. So the Lord is building his city spiritually right now. So let's start with maybe let's go to Revelations real quick. I'm gonna go to Revelations, new tab. Let's start with Revelations 11 and 1. All right. And it says here, Revelation 11 and 1, and this was a vision that was given to John the Revelator on the Isle of Patmos, of the two witnesses. And the two witnesses represent the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom of Israel, starting with the elect. All right, we're his witnesses, also his temple. Revelations 11 and 1, and there was given me a reed like unto a rod. Now, this represents the scriptures. All right, this is what we used to measure ourselves, like a ruler, and to, uh, you know, at that time, they would use something called bull rushes. I'm gonna show you what bull rush. Hold on, I'm gonna show you. All right, and this is called a bull rush. Down here, they call them a cat of nine tails. There you go. All right, and they would use this to measure. So let's go back to. Let me go there real quick. Why not? So they give them a reed like unto a rod. All right, something to measure with, or a staff, or a measuring reed or rod, a writer's reed. Um, so basically, the scriptures. This is what we use to measure ourselves. All right, and even in the ancient times, they would use bull rushes to measure. All right, let me go back real quick so I can. All right, so now let's go back to here. Share this tab. It says a staff, a walking stick, a twig, a rod, a branch. A rod with which one is beaten, a staff. All right, so basically something to measure. All right, and what it says. All right, and that's what we use the scriptures for. This is our mirror, our reflection. All right, we can't find ourselves anywhere in this world, no reflection of ourselves. Even the symbol of the elect, which would be the Lord's name written in your foreheads, or the anointing that's upon you. A lot of times you can't see it yourself, but others can see it on you. You know, that anointing, that spiritual mark, the tawah. Um, Now, the only place you may be able to see that tawah or that reflection of yourself or that anointing that's on you is in the scriptures. That's the reflection. All right. And we don't want to look at that reflection and walk away from it and forget who we are as soon as we walk away. You know, as soon as you put down the book, you become a ninja in the world, Jake. So we want to stay spiritual and always be reflecting or measuring up to. Matter of fact, here you go. Uh, Let me get this real quick, Salaki. All right, I think it's Ephesians 4 and 13. Let me see if I can get that. Ephesians 4 and 13. Then I open another tab. All right, let me get Ephesians 4 and 13. All right, this is Ephesians 4 and 13. And, you know, and it's the spirit, of course, you know, the spirit of truth. But now it says Ephesians 4 and 13. Actually, 4 and 10. He that descended is the same also that ascended up far above all heavens, so far above into the fourth dimension, right? That he might fill all things, and he gave some apostles, and some prophets, and some evangelists, and some pastors and teachers for the perfecting of the saints. See, we're being perfected right now. See, the Lord's building is a city is being built. All right, we're being built up from our ruins after 70 A.D. So the tabernacle of David is being rebuilt. The same way during the time of Solomon, King Solomon, who was also Yahweh in the spirit, set up to build the house of God upon earth and to dedicate it to the Father. Um, Same way during that time, Yahweh, who was also Solomon, had the bricks of the building of the temple built outside of Jerusalem, so it would be quiet. We're being built outside of Jerusalem. The same way Yahweh was crucified outside of Jerusalem, we are being built and we suffer that same affliction and chastisement and being built with untempered mortar. I mean, without the untempered, uh, we got to be built with tempered mortar. I just guess that would be the terminology. But we don't want to be built with untempered mortar. All right. So we are those bricks that's being put together and build up the bricks first, and then you build the bricks together, to each other, and the Lord begins to frame His house. All right, so that his other, the elect may run into his house, and for a place for the Lord's Spirit to dwell in upon earth. That's in His men. Matter of fact, it says here, Ephesians 4 and 12, for the perfecting of the saints, man. See, for the perfecting of the elect. All right. Um, for the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of Yahweh Shai, or the house of Yahweh Shai. All right. Till we come into the unity of faith, man. And that's the goal. This, for all of us to all come into the unity of faith joint together. All right, the unity of trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. That's what faith means, trust. And of the knowledge of the Son of Yahweh unto a perfect man. All right, so the Lord is perfecting us. Yahweh Shai is our standard. Unto the measure, whoa, of the stature of the fullness of Yahushua until we reflect that same faith that Yahushua has shown upon earth. All right. So this is our measure. All right. And how do we measure that? An example. Here you go. Where is it at? Let me get this. I don't want to get too far off my topic. See, 2 Corinthians 13 and 5. Let me go ahead. 2 Corinthians 13 and 5. I need another tab. All right. Let's go here. 2 Corinthians 13 and then 5. And it says here, all right, see, this is what we use the scriptures to do what? 2 Corinthians 13 and 5. We can't just just judging each other out of our own heart. No, we got to judge each other according to the scriptures. Examine ourselves according to the scriptures. 2 Corinthians 13 and 5. So we use the scriptures. That's our measuring tool to measure the temple of Yahweh, the elect. Examine yourselves. See that? So how can you examine yourselves? You need the Spirit of the Lord first, and the scriptures as our reed like unto a rod. Examine yourselves whether ye be in the faith, see, in the trust of Yahweh. Prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves how that Yahweh Shai is in you, except ye be reprobates. And since the Lord dwells in us, he said, let me get that. Sheesh. Right. First Corinthians 13:16. Why I keep erasing my tab? 1 Corinthians 13:16. Let's go there. 1 Corinthians, share this tab. 13:16. Make sure I got my sound. This is 1 Corinthians 13 and 3:16. Salakia. Second Corinthians 3:16. It says here, right. Oh, first, damn, I'm tripping. 1 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians 3:16. And it says here, know ye not that ye are the temple of Yahweh, and that the Spirit of Yahweh dwelleth in you? All right. So we represent the house or the temple that Yahweh Shai is building. All right. And his spirit dwells within us. All right. So know ye not that ye are the temple of Yahweh, and that the Spirit of Yahweh dwelleth in you? All right. So he still got to build us up from within. If any man defile the temple of Yahweh, him shall Yahweh destroy. For the temple of Yahweh is holy, which temple ye are. All right. So now, let me get this real quick. I'm gonna go back to let's go here. Go back to Revelations now. All right. So understanding that, cancel this one out. Cancel that one out. All right. So understanding that, where is it at? Oh, they got rid of it. Revelation 11. Now, it says here, Ephesians 4:13, till we come into the unity and faith and of the knowledge of the Son of Yahweh unto a perfect man, unto the measure of the stature of the fullness of Yahweh Shai. All right, so let's go to Revelation 11. I don't know what happened to my tab. All right, so Revelation 11 and 1. It says, and there was given me a reed like unto a rod. So we know what that reed um like unto a rod is, all right? Because he said that in Psalms 23, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. That's his word and his Holy Spirit. That's our comforter. All right. Um, and there was given me a reed like unto a rod, and the angel stood saying, rise and measure the temple of Yahweh. And that's what we're doing today. All right, the carpenters. We're here to measure ourselves, examine ourselves, and set out the ley lines for what the Lord is building. Right, the spiritual house. And the altar and them that worship therein, right? Because there's and we set up spiritual altars now. All right. Yahweh Shai and us being in his work represents our altar. All right, the elect. Because wherever we go, when you go out and teach, you're setting up an altar. All right. Um, now it says, but the court which is without the temple, leave out and measure it not, for it is given unto the Gentiles. So that's for 2/3 in the heathens. And the holy city shall they tread underfoot 40 and 2 months. So that was basically a small period of time. All right, a short season. And I will give power unto my two witnesses. The Lord said He's gonna give us power after that time. 350 years, even us going into slavery. All right, and I will give because He said there's gonna be a falling away first. That happened in 70 A.D. And after we got settled into that falling away and scattering into the western coast of Africa and around the world, that's when the Lord established what was called the slave trade. All right, in 610 AD. And then about 350 years later, that'll take you up to the time of Abba Bivens. All right. So, and I will give power unto my two witnesses. So the Lord is about to give us that power. Acts 1 says first the Spirit, and then the Lord is gonna give us that power. You know, which the Spirit is power. And they shall prophesy 1,203 days, clothed in sackcloth. So that's 350 years. All right. So that's what we're here to do. We're measuring the temple, establishing the elect, getting ourselves prepared. All right, the bride. So let's go. Let's start here now. All right. So those that don't understand, they're not going to be looking for this. What the Lord promised. Let me go to this one. They're not going to be looking for what the Lord promised to Abraham. All right. Where is that? Okay, here we go. So it says here, I'm gonna put a little picture in the backdrop. There you go. So now, there you go. Music. So let's go to Hebrews 11 and 8. It says, by faith, Abraham, when he was called, so you got to be called, right? Many are called, but few are chosen. So we called, but we gotta, you're called to the race, to the beginning of the race. And then you set in order and you take off on the race. And we got to run in the race correctly according to the rules. Can't be doing like Sakari, all these other IUIC, ISUPK, these reprobates. You got to do it correctly. And the race is not given to the swift. All right. So you got to endure until the end. It's like a marathon. When he was called to go out into a place, all right, and we're called out like the 10 virgins, but 5 are wise, 5 are foolish. That means to step out in faith. which he should after receive for an inheritance, obeyed, and he went out, not knowing whither he went. All right. By faith, he sojourned in the land of promise, as in a strange country, dwelling in tabernacles, which Isaac with Isaac and Jacob, the heirs with him of the same promise, man. So we represent Jacob. All right. So the promise was given to Abraham, passed on and delegated through Isaac, who was also Yahushua, and anointing Jacob with the inheritance. All right. And Jacob represents the 12 tribes of Israel today. So the heirs with him of the same promise, man. That same promise, man. Think about that. And we're here today, and that promise still exists. So we should still be looking for that city and that rest that was promised by Yahweh Shai. That promise that was given to Abraham. Where is it? You know, so it has to happen someday. Right now, we see Esau ruling. We see the world in turmoil. We see the world in war and death and poverty and peril and curses upon our people. So we should be looking for the Lord's promise, especially in these times, because His strength is made known in weakness. And we are at our weakest point as a people right now. The Lord said, a nation divided cannot stand, and we're the most divided of all nations. All right. It says here, 11 and 10, Hebrews. For Abraham, he looked for a city which hath foundations. Foundations, plural. Them foundations go all the way back from now, the promise that was given during the time of Yahushua, all the way back to Abraham. That's how deep the foundations go of this promise. Whose builder, so that's what he was building up from the time of Abraham, is the foundation. All right. That's why they didn't get to see the kingdom fully yet established. Yahushua was sent to build the house. All right. And to build and to set the establish the foundation, you know. So, for he looked for a city which have foundations, whose builder and maker is Yahweh. And the special thing about a house being built by Yahweh, though he had should I go into it, man? Though Yahweh had Solomon build the house, that house still had to be torn down. You know, and though we rebuilt it and rededicated it, the house, um, after 586 BC, um, around 516 BC, it was reestablished under the order of the Persians. And then you had 164 BC, the rededication of the temple, which was called Hanukkah with the Maccabees. These things had to be torn down because uh, let's get it. Why not? All right. Let's go to Acts 7:48. All right, this is the point. Share this tab. It's crazy. This is on point right here. Watch this. It says Acts 7:46, who found favor before Yahweh and desired to hey, let's go to 7:45. All right, which also our fathers that came after brought in with Yahweh Shai into the possession of the Gentiles, whom Yahweh drave out before the face of our fathers unto the days of David. All right. And now I'm gonna turn this music down so I can. All right, where was I? There you go. So it says here, whom Yahweh drave out before the face of our fathers unto the days of David. So this is talking about when we went into the land of Israel, all the way until the time of King David. We didn't have uh, um, a temple. All right, we had altars. We would build, set up altars in different places, but we had no established altar until the time of King David and Solomon. All right, and I think this is talking about Joshua, the high priest. I mean Joshua at the time of 1406 BC. All right. So now, let's talk about Yahweh Shai Salaki. So now let's keep going. It says, who found favor before Yahweh? So King David found favor before the Most High and desired to find a tabernacle for the God of Jacob. So we needed a tabernacle. We needed a city. We needed a place that was set for us. You know, all these nations, these heathens, they had temples and established places for their worship, for their idols. But the living power, the true and living God, we had no place of worship for him. But he like, what you gonna build for me? He don't dwell in temples made with hands. So again, my point is every house that was built for us had to be destroyed because the house that Yahweh promised to um, uh, Abraham, to Isaac, Jacob, all the way to King David, this had to be built spiritually because Yahweh is a spirit. All right. So it says here, but Solomon built him a house. All right, and he built the house. Um, he started building it around 966 BC, and he finished it around 955 BC. All right, so he built a physical temple for us to um, go to pray towards, to offer up, to have the shoe bread and everything set in place. You know, howbeit the Most High dwelleth not in temples made with hands, as saith the prophet. Heaven is my throne, and the earth is my footstool. What house will ye build me? And this is what King Solomon said about Yahushua. I mean about Yahweh. Saith the Lord, or what is the place of my rest? Have not my hands made all these things? All right, so this city that's being built, let's get that. Let me get that real quick. The city that's being built right here. Uh, go to Luke 17 and 20. This is Luke 17 to 20. And it says here, I might go to 19. And he said unto him, arise, go thy way. Thy faith have made thee whole. Because that's what it's about. Our faith, that's what's going to make us whole and be solid um, when the time comes for Jacob's trouble. All right. In judgment day, we'll be whole and no chinks in our armor. And when he was demanded of the Pharisees when the kingdom of Yahweh should come, he answered them and said, the kingdom of Yahweh cometh not with observation, man. You can't put it on no time. What day it's gonna show up. You know, that's why I said that earlier when the kingdom was being built, or the temple during the time of King Solomon, he built outside of the temple. You know, the same way Yahushua was crucified outside of Jerusalem. So we're being built up in the same place where we became Gentiles. All right, and those bricks, us being the bricks, being made perfect or made whole, we're gonna be put together and set. We're gonna be put together in the heavens once the Lord takes up His elect and bring us all together into one. Right now, He bring us together in the same spirit, the same layout. Each brick gonna be the same wherever you at in the world, and those bricks gonna be brought together as a temple of Yahweh and brought back down to the earth as New Jerusalem, refreshed, you know, made over, like Tina Turner said. So the kingdom of Yahweh cometh not with observation. All right. And that's what a lot of people want to see. Like, where's your school at? Where's your building? That's why you got all these people with these buildings and temples. You got IUIC and all them, and ISUPK. They got their little school out there. And man, just go out into the streets and teach, man. All right. School just means to gather, a gathering, a school of fish, the elect, the church, the called out. Two or three are gathered in his name. He's in the midst. You may need some shelter when it's storming, or you can just have better planning. Plan around the storms and things like that. You know? So the kingdom of Yahweh cometh not with observation. So all these tactics that you see IUIC doing, ISUPK, I watched a video the other day. They was out there in their Black Panther looking outfits, militant, and was scaring the hell out these Edomite children and families at this playground. There's a whole army out there. That's not the point. You know, our point is to display the spirit of the Lord, His prophecies, His message. You know what I'm saying? Not trying to put on a show, going out thousands of men just marching for no damn reason, getting hit with rocks in Africa and shit, France, IUIC. It says, neither shall they say, lo here or lo there. For behold, the kingdom of Yahweh is within you. So you want to find the kingdom, look within yourself. Or if you can't see it in this carnal mirror, like Neo had to do. Remember, he told him look in the mirror, and then he reached through and touched it, and he went through the mirror and shit. We got to do that with the scriptures, and you'll find that the kingdom is within you. All right, you'll see your reflection. All right. So now, since the kingdom of Yahweh is within us, and the Lord is building us up, a city is being built right in front of everybody's eyes, and they cannot see it. They cannot see it. All they see is Song of Solomon, uh, Song of Solomon 1 and 5, where the shepherd woman said she is black but comely, meaning she was um, burnt through the affliction and adversity that was put on her by the rest of her people in this world. All right, by being cast down and shamed later on by the Sadducees and the wicked scribes and Sadducees and Pharisees, even today. But she said, what? Don't look upon me because I am burnt or black or impoverished. You know, and someday that woman's gonna, because she knew, even though she's like even now we're not able to go out and be millionaires like Floyd Mayweather and all them type of people, or to do like IUIC and sell out for the bag, and we're here to do the Lord's will. So we may be out there teaching in sackcloth and things like that. All right, but we know, um, even though they set us out in the field to be afflicted, the Lord set us up to be a shepherd. because that's what she was, a shepherdess. And someday she knew that Yahweh Shai was going to beautify this woman and build her up. All right. So we know that Yahweh Shai is going to build us up one day as a nation, the resurrection of the nation of Israel. All right. So it says here, Hebrews 11:10. Let me make sure I'm live. Just want to make sure I'm live real quick. Okay, yeah, it's on there. Let's do it. All right. So now, well, he looked for a city. All right. So that's what we're looking for, that city. But if you're looking, you got to look within and look into the scriptures. All right. So Hebrews 11:10, for he looked for a city which have foundations, whose builder and maker is God, man. Look at that. All right. So now let's get this real quick. That's right. So 1 Peter 2:5. Let's go there. 1 Peter 2:5. Share this tab real quick. 1 Peter 2:5. All right. So through faith, Abraham looked for a city, a building, a temple, a safe house, whose builder, a place where we can offer up to the Lord. All right, a place for us to dwell in. Whose builder and maker is the Most High. Where is that at on the earth right now? Look at all these churches, look at all these temples and mosques and wicked harlot houses that the Lord called them, cages full of birds, capturing 2/3 of our people. All right, till this day. 1 Peter 2:5. Ye also. So like, let me go up one more. 2 and 4. All right. Damn, that's deep. 1 Peter 2:2. As newborn babes, desire the sincere milk of the word, that ye may grow thereby. All right, we're being growing into our perfection as men, just men of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Letting patience have a perfect work, that we may be entire or whole, wanting nothing, man. Be a full brick, ready to be set for the building of the temple, for the master's use, for the carpenter. So as newborn babes, so we can grow thereby. Right? He said, till we come to the perfect measure and stature of Yahushua. If so be ye have tasted that the Lord is gracious, right? You tasted it through experience. You getting this truth, and you understand that you're an Israelite, and he say it's gonna taste sweet and then bitter, and then if you cast that away, it's gonna be worse on you. All right. So now, to taste means to experience. To whom coming as unto a lively stone. All right, that's Yahweh Shai, living stone. Disallowed indeed of men. So 2/3 are going to reject Yahweh Shai, especially the Sadducees, the wicked Sadducees and Pharisees, which a lot of us believe that to most likely be the people like IUIC and a few of these other wayward camps today. But chosen of Yahweh and precious, just like Yahweh Shai was chosen as the cornerstone, the first stone you start with to build the house. So he had to be prepared as well. As I was saying, like Solomon prepared the stones outside of the temple, outside of Jerusalem. All right. So Yahushua was prepared. Um. So now, even since birth, man, all right, he had to run around, and he had to trust Yahweh from birth. Cause look at the hunt that was after him with Herod and these heathens, and 2/3 of Jake that was hating on Yahushua. All right. So he's that living stone, Yahushua, the first chosen stone to hey, I'm gonna build a capstone, start building this house. Here go the first stone right here. Boom. That's how you know it was on from there. That was the beginning of Esau's end, or the wicked's end right there. Ye also as living stones. So now we are the rest of the house that's being built, all right, and prepared. The living stones, all right, the disciples, the believers from 2,000 years ago that are back today to be set in our place. Ye also, as living stones, lively stones, are built up a spiritual house. See that? So, whose builder and maker is Yahweh. That's that spiritual house. And holy priesthood, all right, set apart priesthood, because the priesthood at that time, 2,000 years ago, a lot of them were wicked, like the high priest. Um, to offer up spiritual sacrifices, all right, goes into our teaching, our doctrine, acceptable to Yahweh by Yahweh Shai. All right. So so if you're teaching out there and you're not acknowledging Yahweh Shai, your spiritual sacrifice is not acceptable to Yahweh. All right. So now, wherefore also it is contained in the scriptures, behold, I lay in Zion, and Zion represents the elect today, a chief cornerstone, all right, of Judah. All right, the house of Judah, starting with Judah and the rest of Israel. The elect, precious, and he that believeth on him shall not be confounded. Unto you, therefore, which believe he is precious. See, the ones that believe that Yahweh Shai is precious, man. But unto them which be disobedient, the stone which the builders disallowed, the same is made the head of the corner. Sheesh. All right, so all right, so now the whole focus is this house that's being built, this city, whose builder and maker is Yahweh. Where is that on the earth right now? All right. So I'm seeing if I want to read this or not. So no. So now let's go to something else real quick. Let's go here. It says again, Hebrews 11 and 10. All right. Hebrews 11 and 10. Again, Abraham, let me make sure my sound is on. For he looked for a city, and we should be looking for the same thing, that promise. All right. For he looked for a city which have foundations, going all the way back to Abraham, man. That's how far them foundations go back of the promise. Whose builder and maker is God, man. All right. Not man upon earth. Not even Solomon could build a house that was worthy of what Yahweh is building right now. All right. So let's go here. Uh there you go. Let's go here. Again, I'm kind of vibing in the spirit, man. I got just something on my spirit that I want to talk about, but I don't know how to get to the point. The other scriptures keep popping up. All right, I'm gonna close this one. It says here, Hebrews 13 and 10. Let's start here. All right. We have an altar. See, we got an altar, man. All right. This just like today, well, 2,000 years ago, the Sadducees and Pharisees, they would still erect up their physical altars and try to sacrifice on them. And the Lord, like, I ain't dealing with that right now. But we have an altar, whereof they have no right to eat, which serve the tabernacle. So those high priests at that time, a lot of them were wicked and paid off too, just like today, 501c3, and they really have no right to eat at the altar um, we serve under. All right, serve at. So they have no right to it. That's 2/3. That's the reprobates. All right. For the bodies of those beasts to their carnal, whose blood is brought into the sanctuary by the high priest for sin, are burned without the camp. That's what I was talking about earlier. Okay. So the same way these things were burned outside of the camp of Jerusalem, wherefore Yahushua also, that he might sanctify the people with his own blood, suffered without the gate. All right, just like us, we suffer being scattered around the four corners of the earth, not in our land. Let us go forth, therefore, unto him without the camp. See, that's what we're doing today. Going all, we were scattered all around the world, and Paul's message um, was magnified to the Gentiles, the Israelite Gentiles who were scattered around the world outside the camp. It says, bearing his reproach. So we bear the same affliction, that same reproach. All right. Um, so that we may enter into the city. For here, for what? For here we have no continuing city, man. There's no place for us here, man. All right. If it wasn't for Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, man, it would be a dead end for all of us, or a cliff, or a trap. But instead, for some, ultimately all Israel in the kingdom, but initially the elect, their finish line will be success, will be the kingdom, man. The sure mercies of David. For here have we no continuing city, but we seek one to come. All right, we're looking for it. And we're looking within, we're looking in the scriptures where the Lord told us to look. We're looking in the heavens. He said, look up when you see these prophecies happen. All right, and look for him. Look for Yahushua. You see that? So we're looking for the Lord to establish this city upon earth, whose builder and maker is Yahweh. Matter of fact, oh, do I want to go there? It's 8:27. All right, 1 second. Let me think for a second. Let me see if I want to go somewhere or not. Let's go to here. Let's go here instead. I don't want to go there. All right. This is Hebrews 13 and 10. Make sure I'm close it out. Here you go. Hebrews 12 and 18. It says the contrast of Sinai and Zion. All right. So the contrast of when the Lord brought us to Sinai with Moses, and he came and Yahweh sent Yahushua and the holy angels there. All right. And it quaked, and he sent thousands of angels with him. And he flew out of the chariot to meet Moses face to face on something like Silver Surfer was flying on, a little disc. And he showed his visage on the Mount Sinai. People could see his shadow, but they couldn't see Yahushua himself. And they couldn't touch the mountain. If they touched it or came near it, even if an animal or anything touched it, it would die immediately. It would be unalived. So comparing that to today, all right. So imagine that if the Lord said, "Hey, tell all the elect to meet me on this mountain right now with Moses," but when we get there, the mountain's shaking, It's lightning, thundering. It's like you see these storms out in Jacksonville, you don't want to go outside and shit. Or hurricane. And he said you touch the mountain, you done. And you just, oh my goodness, like that'd be scary. Or imagine when those men asked to see the Most High, and he showed, I believe, Yahweh Shai to those men. It scared the hell out of them, and they asked Moses to tell them to leave because they were that scared, caused everybody to tremble. So if the Lord is telling us to approach Him now in that way, do we see that version of the Lord? He's going to show that to these nations, but instead, the Lord showed us His kindness and mercy. So now, when we approach the Lord, we approach Mount Zion, the mountain, and its mercy. We approach Yahweh Shai, and came down here lowly, and the elect in our condition today, we're lowly. See that? So let me read it. Hebrews 12 and 18. It says, "For ye are not come unto the mount that might be touched, and that burned with fire, nor unto blackness and darkness and tempest." Look at that, man. Imagine that. He said, "Yo, that's how you gotta get to the kingdom. You gotta go through that." Ooh, that'd be scary, man. And the sound of a trumpet, and the voice of words, which voice they that heard entreated that the word should not be spoken to them anymore. Damn, that'd be scary, man. All right. For they could not endure that which was commanded. We couldn't endure it, man. And if so much as a beast touch the mountain, it shall be stoned or thrust through with a dart. All right, so it's deep, man. So if anything would have touched that mountain or um, trespassed against the Lord at that time, they would have been stoned or hit with an arrow. And so terrible was the sight that Moses said, "I exceedingly fear and quake." Right? But ye are come unto Mount Zion. See, we've been called unto what? And unto the city of the living God. That's the elect. All right. Called to join the elect, the city of the living God, the living power, a city whose builder and maker is the Most High. All right, His mountain. But ye are come unto Mount Zion, and unto the city of the living power, the heavenly Jerusalem, the heavenly Yerushalayim, the heavenly city of peace. That's what Yerushalayim means. The heavenly Sanhedrin, right? So that's the elect, the city that's being built, the heavenly Jerusalem. But I don't know what the hell this is on earth today over at bombing Gaza. Excuse me. And to an innumerable company of angels, messengers, angels. All right. To the general assembly and church. See, the general assembly. Because ultimately all Israel is going to be assembled. But the general assembly is the elect. To the general assembly and church, which are the called out, that was spoken of in the Song of Solomon, the church, the bride, that's the city. To the general assembly and church of the firstborn, Yahweh Shai, which are written in heaven. So your name got to be written as a citizen. Let me get that. Let me just finish this real quick. To the general assembly and church of the firstborn, which are written in heaven. So your name got to be written in heaven. And to Yahweh, the judge of all, and to the spirits of just men made perfect. Look at that. So a spirit of just men that are being made perfect from within, from words spoken without and words that are written without, that we can read and brothers speaking to you. But the Lord is working from within your spirit, perfecting you and building you to a perfect brick, solid as a rock in a weary land. And He's going to use you as the building for the building of His temple. All right. So I may go to let's go here. Do I want to go here? No. Hmm. Let's go here real quick. Share this tab. All right, close this one. Let's go here. It says Isaiah 59 and 19. So shall they fear the name of Yahweh from the west. See the weary land from the west. That's what we're in the west. And his glory from the rising of the sun. All right, in the east. So basically all over the world. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, and that's what Klaus Schwab, like a villain from The Simpsons or some shit. All right. Klaus Schwab, he said, this new world order, as they're making their move, it shall be like a flood. All right. So when they come in, when the enemy shall come in like a flood, martial law, or to, take the people, however that may be, the spirit of Yahweh shall lift up a standard against him, man. He gonna say, "What? Touch not my anointed." And Psalm 91, he gonna give his angels charge over his elect. Isaiah 59 and 20, and the Redeemer shall come to Zion. So Yahweh Shai is gonna come to his mountain again, to the elect. And unto them, what? So who's Zion? That's what we were reading earlier, right? It says Zion, the holy city, the city of God. So now let's see who Zion, the city of God, is. And the Redeemer shall come to Zion, the city of God, a city of Yahweh, and unto them that turn from transgression in Jacob. So who is the city of Yahweh? Them that turn from transgression in Jacob. That's the elect. Saith Yahweh. As for me, this is my covenant with them, with those that turn from transgression. Transgression is to continually sin, all right, and believe in lies. As for me, this is my covenant with them, saith Yahweh. My spirit that is upon thee, and my words which I have put in thy mouth shall not depart out of thy mouth, nor out of the mouth of thy seed, nor out of the mouth of thy seed, saith Yahweh, from henceforth and forevermore. So it's gonna be passed on. That's generational, what they say, wealth, generational wealth right there, passing on this wisdom, true riches. So I know that works in that poverty, but thou art rich, and this is the riches, the wisdom. Spirit of the prophet is subject unto the prophet to lay a foundation for your soul in the future, a hedge against the times to come, and that's what the Lord has allowed us to do as trustees of his in his work. All right. So the city, that's what we're speaking about. Let's go here. Let me see. No, you know what? I'm gonna go to Apocrypha. Share this tab. Hopefully, I don't lose my sound real quick. Let's go here. This is Second Ezra's 7 and 6. There is another thing. A city is builded. Again, a city is builded. And that's your ass, Mr. Postman or Esau. That city is being built. There is also another thing. A city is builded and set upon a broad field in the world, and is full of all good things, the kingdom, all the promises, everything, eternal life, spiritual power, righteousness, the laws being put in our inward part, being in the presence of Yahweh, seeing your family, all these things, man. The entrance thereof is narrow, right? The narrow way through affliction and adversity, right? The afflicted path. And a lot of these gainsayers and false prophets, they don't want to take that path. They try to go the easy way out, or look for fame or notoriety or have an ego or an oppressive spirit, um, filthy lucre, et cetera, et cetera. The entrance thereof is narrow, right? It takes strength to keep your dignity, you know, and to maintain on this path, all right, and focus. And it's set in a dangerous place to fall. So this is the playing field, this earth right now, especially with Esau ruling and our people being under the curses. I was watching a clip from the Matrix, and Morpheus, he said, yo, these people that are in the Matrix, that are trapped in the Matrix mentally, they're so asleep that if you try to wake them up, they'll try to fight you. And that's what they do. Try to wake them out of their sleep. All right. So this is that dangerous place to fall. Like as if there were a fire on the right hand, all right, the furnace of adversity, the fire, and on the left, a deep water, the waters of affliction. You can drown or you can be consumed in either. And one only path between them both. And Yahweh Shah already laid that path, grazed that path for us so we can follow. Even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there at once. All right. So let every man work out their own salvation with fear and trembling. All right. Uh, if this city now were given unto the city, were given unto a man for an inheritance, this is our inheritance, and it was given to Isaac, to Jacob, Abraham, Isaac, to Jacob for an inheritance. If he never shall pass the danger set before it, all right, these are the obstacles that the Most High has set before. Now, with that being said, let me get this before I even go further. Um, Let me get something real quick. Yeah, I'm gonna get this real fast. This is this loot? No, that's not what I want. Loot. It's Luke 12 and 32. All right. With that being said, the Lord said this, Luke 12 and 32. Um, it says here, fear not, little flock. It's not all Israel right now, but his little flock. All right, the sheep, the ones that he gathered, his sheep hear his voice. Fear not, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. It's his good pleasure to give it to us, man. Give us the kingdom. So we go through these obstacles that he set before it, and he's like, "Yo, just do it," And I got blessings waiting on you. All right, and he knows our potential. That's why he's telling us to do it. That's why he told Peter that the foundation was going to be upon him, because he knew Peter's potential. All right. It says here. Let me make sure I got my sound. I'll go back. Boom. Okay. It says Apocrypha. Verse 9. If this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance, man? All right. If we don't do this work, if we don't go through what we got to go through here, this light affliction, compared to being gods eternally, angels, superhuman, righteous, sons of Yahweh, this is a light affliction compared to that. We just can't realize that yet. We don't, because we're in the affliction still. We see people dying around us. It can create fear, but we got to stay in faith. All right. So, and I said, "It is so, Lord." Then said he unto me, "Even so also is Israel's portion." All right. So, sound like a gunshot. But anyway, so the city is being builded. All right. The city is being builded. Whose builder and maker is Yahweh. So let's go to I'm gonna go to something else if I got time. 8:45. Let's go to Second Ezra, uh 10 and 23. All right, let me make sure it's the right one. Is that 10? Mm-mm-mm. Let's start from I don't want to go from one. I'll go to one real quick. Just give you some context on what this is talking about. All right. I'm gonna go to Apocrypha. I'm gonna go to verse one. Just give you a little context. I believe. Make sure I got my sound because every time I go to this Apocrypha app, it always cuts off my sound. All right, Second Ezra chapter 10, verse 1. I'm not gonna read the whole chapter. I'm gonna see when the Spirit tell me to skip down. All right, let's go to one. And it came to pass that when my son was entered into his wedding chamber, he fell down and died. All right, this is talking about King Solomon and Judah, or you can say Israel. All right, when Solomon fell later on, what Solomon built the temple in 586 BC, it fell as well. All right, which is us. It says, then we all overthrew the lights, and all my neighbors rose up to comfort me. So I took, all right, so all the other nations and the rest of Israel rose up to comfort Judah. So I took my rest until the second day at night, and it came to pass when they had all left off to comfort me, to the end I might be quiet. Then I rose up, and it's talking about Ezra. I rose up by night and fled and came hither into this field, as thou seest. All right. I do now purpose not to return into the city, but here to stay, and neither to eat nor drink, but continually to mourn and to fast until I die. And it's talking about that woman. So like, all right. Um, then left I the meditations wherein I was, and spake to her in anger, saying, talking to the woman, and we represent that foolish woman that when we fell. All right. The scripture say the Lord has likened us to a comely and delicate woman. I'm not gonna get the scripture, but that's what scripture say. All right, we're that woman, and we became foolish. Thou foolish woman above all other, seest thou not our mourning and what happened unto us? How that Zion, our mother, is full of all heaviness. All right, so Zion, talking about in Jerusalem, but today it represents the elect, all right, or Israel, and much humbled, mourning very sore. All right, spiritually later on we went into slavery, et cetera, et cetera. All right, so now seeing we all mourn and are sad, for we are all in heaviness. Art thou grieved for one son? All right, are you just worrying about Judah only? No, it's about all Israel. So now, um, for ask the earth, and she shall tell thee that it is she which ought to mourn for the fall of so many that grow upon her. So I'm gonna get to the point now. All right. So basically, so many people that passed upon earth and they go back to the ground. All right, so let's go to the point now. So that's the understanding of what this is talking about. When it says her son is talking about Solomon, what he built, 966 BC, he started building it. 11 years later, he finished it, which was 955. And then 953, he finished building his own house. All right, BC. All right, so where do I want to go at? Let's go to I think it's 23 maybe. Let's start here. All right. So now with that understanding, it says, and which is the greatest of all, the seal of Zion, have now lost her honor. Man, once Judah lost their honor, all Israel was like, gonna fall. For she is delivered into the hands of them that hate us. And therefore, so today Esau, that nation, we were delivered into their hands. And therefore shake off thy great heaviness and put away the multitude of sorrows, right? Because that woman thought she was going to be in this condition forever. And Ezra had to rebuke her. That's what we're here to do, to rebuke our people and tell them to wake the hell up. They think this is wherein hast thou loved us? But Ezra knew better. He knew that the Lord was going to build this woman back up. All right. But the woman was like, I remain here forever. I'm not going to eat. I'm doing nothing. And therefore shake off that great heaviness, put away mortal thoughts, right? That weak nature, doubt, and put away the multitude of sorrows, right? Sin. That's what causes sorrow. That the mighty Yahweh may be merciful unto thee. Again. Whoa, again. All right. And the highest shall give thee rest and ease from thy labor. That's what he promised us. And we still should be looking for that. But 2/3 have stopped looking for that. They forgot the promise. And it came to pass while I was talking with her, behold, her face, see, and it's coming to pass now, right? As we're talking to the elect, and as the elect are talking to us, we're speaking to each other face to face, right? Uh, um, that had scripture coming to my mind, but it's all good. Um, let me see if I can get it, man. So like, let me get this, see if I can pull it up. I can't find this. Cool. I don't want to look for it right now, but it's a scripture. It said they spake often one to it. There you go. This is Malachi 3:16. Then they that feared Yahweh spake often one to another. And that's what we're doing now. But in the kingdom, we're not going to have to do that. It's all going to know Yahweh Shai. Then they that feared Yahweh spake often one to another. And that's scary. Revelation 11. Fear, that makes fear fall upon these people. They want us divided. Lack of communication builds resentment and fear towards another, which also fear can turn into hatred towards another. That's why people fight when they don't communicate. So, and Yahweh, they that feared Yahweh spake often one to another, and Yahweh hearkened and heard it, and a book of remembrance was written before him for them that feared Yahweh and that thought upon his name. And that's today. And we're doing that again, speaking often again one to another. So verse 25, 2nd Ezra 10. And it came to pass while I was talking with her, she's speaking to each other, behold, remember that Song of Solomon 1:5, the woman that said, I am black but comely. Yeah, she ain't gonna be impoverished forever or afflicted forever, man. So her that's right. That's Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5. Let me get that real fast. It's Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 2. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear. No, no. Verse 1. Because if you read Song of Solomon 1 and 5, this goes hand in hand with it. All right, this is the beauty. She said, I am black, but calmly. So the calmly part, that's Wisdom of Solomon 5, where she becomes beautiful again. All right, where we get salvation and in the sight of the world, where we get the reward of the kingdom for this work and for our affliction, our light affliction. Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 1. Then, all right, then Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labors. Remember that the woman said, "Yo, uh, I was a shepherd, but my brothers made me a worker in the field. And on the field, that's where you get afflicted and be out under the elements of the sun and burnt. And that represents them afflicting us and scolding us and lying on us. All right, just like even today, they're the same ones that built the graves of the prophets, the same ones that scoffed at Moses, the same one that scoffed at Yahushua and the disciples. They're here today. All right. So we go through the affliction, not only from the world and the Esau, but also from our people. We are made a spectacle before men and the world. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear. When they see this, we be we get exalted and beautified. Yep. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they look for. And they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometime in derision and a proverb of reproach. Looking at that woman saying, yo, look at y'all afflicted. Look at y'all uh, black men, you know, Eve hating on us on the internet and all over social media, the court systems, last one's hired, first one's fired, uh, child support, kicked out your home, can't have multiple wives because there's so much jealousy out here amongst the women. There's so much, man. Diseases, can't defend yourself, just like um, Esau during the time of slavery. They wouldn't let us defend our families. Instead, they would buck break us right in front of our family, like they're doing a lot of Jake in front of the whole world today. All right. So, and they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he. And they said, who that nigga up on that nag? This was he whom we had sometime in derision. All right. In a proverb of reproach. I'm just reading. Where the heck am I at? All right, here you go. We fools accounted his life madness. They count our life madness and his end to be without honor. Now, if you read this and you go back and read Song of Solomon 1 and 5, you'll see they match up perfect. All right. How is he numbered among the children of Yahweh and his lot is among the saints? All right. So yeah, now let me go back. Let's go back to the study. Make sure I got my sound. Okay, so now the Lord is telling us what to shake off that great heaviness because we're being built up and beautified. Even though the world, hey, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right? Well, they don't have eyes to see the type of beauty we have. Just like we can't see all the colors that dwell in this world. We can't see into the spirit world. You know, our light is spiritual. Our color is spiritual. Our beauty is spiritual. All right. So it says here, verse 27. No, 25. And it came to pass while I was talking with her. See, while we're preaching, in the midst of us teaching and prophesying and doing the work, this is going to happen. Behold, her face upon a sudden shined exceedingly. See, the elect going to shine, all right, into the kingdom. Those that bring many to righteousness. So shine forth. And her countenance glistered, so that I was afraid of her. Same way they was afraid of Moses when his face shined. This is the transfiguration. And mused that it might be. And behold, suddenly she made a great cry, very fearful. Once we cry out to the Father, you know, so that the earth shook at the noise of that woman. That's right now. Once we start praying and prophesying and teaching out in the street, that's when the prophecies start to come to pass. Think about it. And all hell breaking loose here in this place. And the earth is shaking and moving at the voice of the Lord. Because it knows that its time is coming for a change. That's why I said the earth is going to shake, not move to and fro from the missiles, but it began to quake when the Lord tells his prophecies to Ezra or to John the Revelator. The earth would tremble because it knows that this is true, and this earth is gonna even feel the magnitude of these nukes and the judgment of Yahweh, and in earthquakes and all the changes that are going to come upon the earth, the animals being moved out of place, all right, and all the dead that are going to be upon the earth. And I looked, and behold, the woman appeared unto me no more. All right, after the earth shook at the noise of the woman, Revelation 11, great fear fell upon them. All right, that saw the two witnesses out teaching. And I looked, and behold, the woman appeared unto me no more. See that? And you read that in what is that? Zechariah? There came out two women, but the servant that we were, the impoverished beggar, Jacob, Lazarus, the Lord raises up the beggar out of the dunghill and causes us to sit amongst princes. We're going to be judging the earth, all right, upon the 12 thrones. And I looked, and behold, the woman appeared unto me no more. Look at that, man. It's never going to be again us being in that condition of poverty and oppressed. But there was a city builded. That's it. The city being built. That's what's happening right now. All right. The new heaven and new earth. The fashion of this world is passing away. So Esau's heaven is our hell. So that's fading away. And all you're going to see is the truth, and righteousness is going to stand. All right. The city is builded, and you represent part of that if we maintain our course, if we stay strong and don't break. And a large place showed itself from the foundations. Whew. Then was I afraid and cried with a loud voice and said, all the promises being shown, all right, in these times right now. So where is Uriel or Awar Allah, which was the angel of light that was sent to Ezra around the time of Ezra's around from like at when Cyrus the Great allowed us back into Jerusalem, Israel, around 538 BC. He was around, but he became an elder around 452 BC. He was older. So anywhere between there, he got these prophecies, or these visions. Where is Uriel the angel, who came unto me at the first. For he have caused me to fall into my trance, which is like a meditation or prayer. All right. So say I was in a trance on the Sabbath day, meaning they were just walking in meditation and prayer. And mine end is turned into corruption. And my prayer to rebuke. See, he was praying. And I was, and as I was speaking these words, behold, he came unto me and looked upon me. Can you imagine that happening right now? You praying, and then all of a sudden the angel staring you right in the face and looking right at you. All right. And as I was speaking these words, behold, he came unto me and looked upon me, man. That's the type of evidence a lot of these Christians, a lot of Jakes want to see. You know, they got to see it to believe it. And lo, I lay as one that had been dead, man. You see an angel, you because that's what we see when we transition. As soon as you pass, you most likely see an angel. You know, angels. Because a lot of people once when they saw an angel, they thought they were dead. And mine understanding was taken from me, and he took me by the right hand and comforted me and set me upon my feet and said unto me, damn. So he brought him out of it, being knocked out. What aileth thee, and why art thou so disquieted? And why is thy understanding troubled and the thoughts of thine heart? All right, so I'm gonna get to the point. Maybe I can skip down. Let me see. Can I skip down? Select it. Let me see. I'm gonna read this whole John real quick, all to the end. Why not? And he said unto me, stand up manfully, and I will advise thee. That's what the Lord did to us. He comforted us, and the Spirit told us now to stand up and gird up thy loins as a man, and the Lord will advise us. Habakkuk said, I will stand and wait for what the Lord will tell me to do. All right. Little backdrop. The heavenly Sanhedrin in the kingdom. There we go. Ain't gonna be no bald heads though. They gotta stop drawing this shit. Anyway, so it says here, verse 34. Then said I, speak on, my Lord. All right, and me only forsake me not, lest I die frustrate of my hope. For I have seen that I knew not, and hear that I know not. Meaning he don't understand what the hell going on. Or is my sense deceived, or my soul in a dream? He ain't know what he's like. Am I looking at the building? I was just talking to this woman, and she was crying, look all weird and wicked and bugged out, look like Jake today. But now I see this building. Is this a real building? Am I tripping? Is this mirage? Now therefore I beseech thee that thou wilt show thy servant of this vision. He answered me then and said, hear me, and I shall inform thee and tell thee wherefore thou art afraid. For the highest will reveal many secret things unto thee. All right, he said he upbraideth not. He tells us all secrets unto his servants, the prophets. He have seen thy way is right. So the Lord is watching Ezra just like he's watching us today. For that thou sorrowest continually for thy people and makest great lamentation for Zion, for the elect today. This therefore is the meaning of the vision which thou lately sawest. All right. Thou sawest the woman mourning, just like we see Israel in mourning. You see the elect mourning out, prophesying, crying out. All right. Saw us in slavery. The nation saw us in slavery, etc., etc. Tabernacle of David is fallen. Thou sawest a woman mourning, and thou beganest to comfort her. All right. So now we're comforting our people with the comfort one another with these words. But now seest thou the likeness of the woman no more. But there appeared unto thee a city builded. Come on, man. A city is builded, and whose maker is God, is Yahweh. And his understanding is far above out of man's understanding and sight. And whereas that's right. So the Lord has us operating on a fourth dimensional level because man deals with over, under, around, behind, before, but the Lord like, no, we're gonna go through the wall. We're gonna go through the water and the fire. I'm gonna show y'all this fourth dimensional path. All right. We're operating on a whole nother level now, outside of the matrix mentally. This woman whom thou sawest is Zion. Oh, so I can skip. Verse 43. And whereas she told thee of the death of her son, this is the solution. All right. This woman whom thou sawest is Zion. And whereas she said unto thee, even she whom thou seest is the city builded. So the same thing, Zion, the elect, is that same city that's being builded. All right. So the same thing. The woman and the city was parabolic of the same person, people. Whereas I say, she said unto thee that she have been 30 years barren. All right. Those are the 30 years wherein there was no offering made in her. All right. So what is that? To understand that, you got to go back to King Solomon, 966 BC. Um, before that, if you go to uh, First Kings, real fast, man. Can I go here real quick? Shit, 9 o'clock. All right, First Kings, real quick. Let's read the first part of it. Is this First Kings? Yeah. Share this tab. Make sure I got my sound. All right, First Kings 6:1. And it came to pass in the 480th year, after the children of Israel will come out of the land of Egypt. All right. So if you want to find out when the Exodus happened, or vice versa, you want to find out when the temple was built, you can use these calculations. All right. Let me find a calculator or something. Hold on. I need a calculator. Let me get a calculator quick. All right. So it said what 480 years after. So if you do your history, you understand that 1446 was the Exodus. All right. So you subtract 480 years that spoke of in just now, First Kings, verse 6, chapter 6. You'll get 966 BC. If you look up the historians, a lot of scholars, they say the temple was built in 950, but it says it took, in the scriptures, it say it took Solomon 11 years to build the temple. All right. So 966 BC. So let's go back. All right. So it came to pass in the 480th year after the children of Israel will come out of the land of Egypt. So 1446. So it'd be 480 years would be 966 BC. In the fourth year of Solomon's reign over Israel. Now, to understand that, you got to understand that fourth year. So 966 plus 4 would be what? 970. So that's when Solomon started ruling. How do you know that? You can go to let me go here. All right, let's go here real quick. Let me see. So like in 1 second, bear with me. Trying to song. There you go. This is an accurate date. All right. So 970, right? So you had 970. Where was that? Man, it took my page from me. There you go. 970 BC. All right. So it said in the fourth year of King Solomon's reign, that's when he began to build the house. So that was 966 BC. 4 years prior would take you to 970. That was the exact date when King David uh, transitioned, when he died. So after he died, 970 BC, King Solomon began to rule. And then it took Solomon 7 years to build the temple, known as the house of Yahweh. All right, so we got to go 7 years. And the foundation was laid 7 years. So I said 11 years. The foundation was laid in the fourth year of his reign. All right, so that was 966 BC. And the building was completed in the 11th year. All right, yeah, I was on point. All right, so, and he also built his palace in 13 years. Yeah, I was on point. All right, so 11 years. So now, going from, let's go back to this calculator. All right, so going from the death of King David, it said in the fourth year, so 970, take away 4, take it in 966. That's when King Solomon, after he started reigning in 970, he started building the temple 966. And it says it took him 11 years to finish it. So 955. All right, that's when the temple was built. All right. So if you need that, you can come here to 1 Kings 6:1. And it came to pass in the 480th year after the children of Israel will come out of the land of Egypt, in the fourth year of Solomon's reign over Israel, in the month Ziph, which is the second month, be around April, May, or something like that he began to build the house of Yahweh. All right. So, and the reason he was building it, I don't want to dig all through Corinthians and Chronicles and Kings, but he was building a place of prayer for us, man, and for us to establish the altar instead of being scattered all over the world, different places, wherever we were at. We just set up altars. He's like, no, he want a place for us. All right. So let's go back to the Apocrypha and finish this. Finish what you started. All right, from 44. Second Ezra 10 and 44. This woman whom thou sawest is Zion. And whereas she said unto thee, even she whom thou seest as a city builded. So he was literally talking about Zion at that time, amongst Judah and Jerusalem, because that was the top tribe. And if that fell, that was it for us. All right, that was the capital. But today, that represents the elect. We represent the capital. All right, Zion, the city that's builded, whose creator, builder, and maker is God, is Yahweh. And he dwelleth not in temples made with hands. So it's a spiritual city that's being built. And we should be expecting it and looking for it. Whereas I say, she said unto thee that she hath been 30 years barren, meaning this woman, this is symbolic of before Solomon built that temple, we had no solid place of worship. Right? We had no temple. We had altars erected all over the place, but we had no solid temple or nothing. It says those are the 30 years wherein there was no offering made in her. See that? But after 30 years, Solomon builded the city. All right, so he built the city, man. That same Solomon, who is Yahushua, is building us today. And once he's done building us, he's going to dedicate all Israel and the world to Yahweh. All right, really starting with all Israel. But after 30 years, Solomon builded the city. Damn, the rededication of us, huh? Kind. And offered offerings, and then bare the barren son. All right. So that's Solomon. After he perished, later on, you had to split amongst Israel, which they came back together, but it was never fully right. And then 586, 722, the northern kingdom fell. 586, the southern kingdom fell. And whereas she told thee that she nourished him with labor, that was the dwelling in Jerusalem. See that? All right. But Jerusalem fell. But whereas she said unto thee that my son coming into his marriage chamber happened to have a fail and died. All right, Solomon fell and then Jerusalem fell. This was the destruction that came to Jerusalem. Come on, man. All right. So what Solomon built up, it later fell because it was called the fall of Jerusalem, 586 BC. This is history. And behold, so we fell, and then 70 AD we got chased out, and Esau burned it down during the Jewish Roman War. So people like, where's this? Where your temple? Where the Israelites at? What you talking about? Where your country at? And behold, thou sawest her likeness, and because she mourned for her son, thou beganest to comfort her. All right, so we comfort those that mourn for Jerusalem, the ones that mourn for Yahweh. That's what we're here to comfort. That's why Yahweh, when he showed up, he said they were as sheep that had no shepherd. So he was teaching to them. That's why he spoke in parables. So so his words would fall upon deaf ears, and they would be received and comprehended by the blessed ears. All right, anointed ears. And behold, thou sawest her likeness, and because she mourned for her son, thou beganest to comfort her. And of these things which have chanced, these are to be open unto thee. So the prophecies, they were going to be open unto us to understand. For now the Most High seeth that thou art grieved unfeignedly, and sufferest from thy whole heart for her. So have he showed thee the brightness of her glory. So he showed Ezra, the kingdom. All right, her glorified in the kingdom. All right, and our spirit, when we in the heavens, we see the kingdom, man. You know, but if you were 2/3 and being wicked, you don't see yourself. You see judgment coming when you come back to the earth. Or you see the destruction. All right, and being set up for come back as a baby. For now, the Most High. All right, Salakis, let me keep going. So now, for now, the Most High seeth that thou art in family, right? He showed thee the brightness of her glory and the comeliness of her beauty. Where he say, I am black but comely. And therefore I bade thee remain in the field where no house was builded. See that? So right now on the earth, the Lord's house is not built except for through the elect. There's no temple, there's no place of worship. All right. For I knew that the highest would show this unto thee. Therefore I commanded thee to go into the field, into the world, where no foundation of any building was. For in the place wherein the highest beginneth to show his city. See that? So in the place where the Lord is beginning to show his city on this earth right now, there can no man's building be able to stand. So I don't even care if Solomon built it. It can't be there. Nothing can. That's why Esau's setup is going to be destroyed, because the house that and city and building that he promised to Abraham. Oh, this ain't gonna be built with hands. This is gonna be whose builder and maker is Yahweh. And we're about to realize that it's going to be real to us real soon. For in the place wherein the highest beginneth to show his city. New Jerusalem coming down from heaven. Right? It says, there can no man's building be able to stand. Therefore, fear not, let not thy heart be affrighted, man. So if you fear, he said, yo, it's in Yahweh's good grace to give us the kingdom, his good pleasure. All right. So therefore, fear not, let not thy heart be affrighted, but go thy way and see the beauty and greatness of the king, the building, man. So people don't want to listen. You got a plate in your hand. You trying to give it to them to eat. No, eat it yourself. They don't want to eat it. You trying to show the people the building that's there that they can't see, and they don't want to see it. Well, you adore it. You be the witness of it. All right. Don't forget about yourself in the situation. But go thy way in, see, and see the beauty. This is the elect getting taken up. And he says, shut the doors behind thee until the indignation be overpassed, and the elect are going to see the kingdom and see his salvation in his land, meaning actually see the experience of salvation and see the beauty and greatness of the building, as much as thine eyes be able to see. Right now we see through a glass foggy, but soon we should see clearly, like completely. All right. And we have an unction uh through Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, we know all things pertaining to his word. And then shalt thou hear as much as thine ears may comprehend. For thou art blessed above many other, see Ezra and the elect today, and are called with the highest, and so are but few. That's why the elect are few. All right. But tomorrow at night thou shalt remain here, and so shall the highest show thee visions of the high things, the prophecies, man, out in the heavens, spoken out in the heavens, which the Most High will do unto them that dwell on the earth in the last days. So this is a prophecy of now, of this woman being beautified, put on thy beautiful garments. So I slept that night, and another, like as he had commanded me. All right, so let's go here real quick, and I'm gonna end this, John. Let's go here real fast. I got so many scripture I want to go to. I feel like we just got started. I don't even know what time it is. It's 9:27. Let's go here real quick. Revelation 21. Wow, beautiful. All right. That's right. Hey, let me get this one. This one seems pretty cool. Let's read it with this in the backdrop. It says, Revelation 21:1, the new heaven and the new earth. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, right? Where Esau's heaven is our hell. So our heaven is going to be the wicked's hell, all right, on earth. Okay. For the first heaven and the first earth were passed away. So it's going to be over. You're not going to see the woman, the oppressed woman anymore in her sins. You're going to see that beautiful, righteous woman in her sovereignty, her rulership, authority under Yahweh Bashim Yahushai with her husbandman, our king. And there was no more sea, all right, no more nations roaring against us, coming against us. And I, John, saw the holy city. Oh, what? The holy city. So we know who that city is. How is there going to be a city coming out the sky? It's talking about a people before it's a place. It's talking about the citizens. It says in Ephesians, now you are fellow citizens with the believers. All right. A citizen is it says here citizen.
Citizen.
All right. A citizen is what? It says C city. All right, so look up the word city. So citizen derives from the word city dweller. All right. And the Lord said, what? Now you are fellow citizens, man, once you believe. You're a citizen of his city. Let's get that. Let me get that real quick. All right, Revelation 3 and 12. Let me see if I can get it over here. Revelation 3 and 12. It says it here, right? Here you go. It says, him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my power, man. All right, pillar meaning something that holds up and sustains the house and is immovable and becomes part of the house. Not just a spectator, but a pillar in the house of the Lord, in his temple. The tabernacle of David that's being rebuilt, his city that's being built. And he shall go no more out, man. See, you're going to be as a pillar, part of it. You ain't going to never go out the house again. And I will write upon him the name of my power, Yahweh, as a possession of Yahweh, and the name of the city of my God. All right, the city of God, man. Yasha Allah, New Jerusalem. So the name of the city of Yahweh is going to be written upon you, the individual, making you a citizen. All right, thus establishing a church of citizens, establishing a city, a people before the place, which is New Yerushalayim, as I read earlier, the heavenly Jerusalem, New Jerusalem, refreshed Yerushalayim, city of peace, which cometh down out of Yahweh, cometh down out of heaven from Yahweh, and I will write upon him my new name. All right. So Yahweh Shai's glorified expression is going to be written upon us. All right. The laws, statutes, and commandments. All right. So now once you understand that, you'll see that we knew Yahweh Shai by many names, but we haven't seen him glorified yet. All right. So let's go back. Revelation 21 and 2. And I saw John, the Revelator, also known as John the Beloved, Yakanan. I saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, all right, the elect, coming down from Yahweh out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. It's crazy, man. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, behold, the tabernacle of Yahweh is with men. All right. So right now it's not with men, it's not on the earth. But someday it will be, the promise that he gave to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and to Solomon and King David to build his tabernacle on the earth. But the builder and maker will be Yahweh and no one else besides Yahweh Shai, who's a righteous angel in the heavens, who also is Solomon. And he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people. Talking about Israelites. And Yahweh himself shall be with them and be their power. Sheesh. So let's see. Verse 10, Revelation 21 and 10. And he carried me away in the spirit to a great and high mountain. That's Israel being exalted, and showed me the great city. All right. That great city. We're gonna be great. The holy Jerusalem, the Israelites. Man, it's crazy, man. All right. Get another backdrop picture. All right, the holy Jerusalem. Where was that? Here you go. Descending out of heaven from Yahweh, right? Because the scriptures say the elect are going to be taken up into the chariots, into the bosom of Abraham, the promise, into those chariots, and be taken above the firmament in the midst of World War III and the explosion from ICBM missiles. And they're going to be kept out of harm's way and then brought back down to this earth, renewed and perfected and ready, you know, having the glory, Revelation 21:11, having the glory of Yahweh, and her light was her light. Remember the woman that was afflicted, but now her light was like unto a stone most precious. Mm, just like Yahushua, even like a jasper stone, clear as crystal, just like the spirit itself. It's gonna be crystal clear reflection, man. All right, that's what the spirit represents: clarity, or just plainness, man. Just the truth, before untainted, untouched, man, unspotted. Just the truth, plain old truth, and that's the Holy Spirit. And had a wall great and high. All right, so we're gonna be defended by Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and these that represents our defense. So these elect are going to be exalted high and lifted up, as the scriptures say. I saw a king that was high and lifted up, and his train filled the whole earth. And he saw princes reign in righteousness. So that's us, and we lifted up high, and had great 12 gates. So to enter in, you got to go through a door. You got to be from one of these 12. Can't be Esau, because ain't no 13 gates. See, vocab, there's only 12 gates. And at the gates, 12 angels and names written thereon, just like the angels spoken of in Revelations, which were messengers, all right, to Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua's people, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. So they're the only ones that have access into these gates. You gotta be from the 12 tribes. That's Revelation 7. All right. On the so now, and that's it, man. I think I'm gonna stop there because if I keep going, we're gonna go into some other stuff. Let's go here real quick. Revelation 21 and 22. And I saw no temple therein, for Yahweh, power almighty, and the Lamb are the temple of it. And the city had no need of the sun, neither of the moon, to shine in it, for the glory of Yahweh did lighten it, and the Lamb is the light thereof, man. And the nations of them which are saved, so the elect Israelites that are saved, shall walk in the light of it, and the kings of the earth do bring their glory and honor unto this mountain. All right. So yeah, man, the 12 gates, that's the city, and it's not talking about physical. It's gonna be a city built up physically, but it's gonna be through them building it up through slavery. All right, these nations. Isaiah 59, 58 and 9. It says, Then shalt thou call, and Yahweh shall answer, thou shalt cry, and he shall say, Here I am. If thou take away from the midst of thee the yoke of sin, the putting forth of the finger and speaking vanity, turning from my transgressions. And if thou draw out thy soul to hunger and satisfy the afflicted soul, then shall thy light rise in obscurity. Our light has risen in secret and obscurity, right? And thy darkness shall be as the noonday. So as low as we have been, we shall be the tail and not the head. Now we're gonna be the head, and they're gonna be the tail. 12 noonday represents the high point of the sun rising. So we're gonna be like that to the highest level. And Yahweh shall guide thee continually. So the Lord is still guiding us. He's gonna guide us even in the kingdom. and satisfy thy soul in drought, and make fat thy bones. And that, wow, it's deep, man. And thou shalt be like a watered garden, and like a spring of water, whose waters fail not. Ain't nothing these nations gonna ever be able to do about it. And they that shall be of thee, what? And they that shall be of thee shall build the old waste cities. Thou shalt raise up the foundations of many generations, and thou shalt be called the repairer of the breach, the restorer of paths to dwell in. All right. So we're gonna build it up, but them nations are gonna build it, through slavery. Psalms 87:3, glorious things are spoken of thee, O city of Yahweh. That's right. So glorious things are spoken of us, man. All right. Let me get this. What's this one? That's right. Let me get this real quick. That's right. That's right. With this Revelations 3, I already read that one. I'm good on that one. Read this. What's this? There you go. Bear with me. What's this? Psalms 46:4. Yeah, man. Con. Psalms 46:4. There is a river. All right, there is a river. And you can read about that in Revelations 22. All right, the river that streams from Yahweh, the water that pours out, the spirit through Yahweh Shai, the conduit to the trees that bear 12 manner of fruit, which are the 12 tribes of Israel. That river exists. So there is a river, and the streams whereof shall make glad the city of Yahweh. That's why I say the daughters, the virgins do love them. All right, so that's making us glad right now, the city of Yahweh, the holy place of the tabernacles of the Most High. All right, Yahweh is in the midst of her. She shall not be moved. Yahweh shall help her, and that right early. All right, so he's gonna help us early in the game. So with that, man, I'm gonna end this John. Hope this was edifying to you, man. I'm not sure how long this lesson was, but a lot that's on my spirit with that. So hope this is edifying. I want to say Kal Halayim, Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem, Harakak, B'Dash, Mama. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and the elders. Shalom to you that are watching. Oh, I got comments. Hey, my brother in the car. Yep, Revelation 21:1 and 2. Yep, con. All right, Shalom, Mark. Thanks for the support too, man. Cause the wise man desires listening ear. I'm say Shalom, man. And yes, we're looking for that promise. We're looking for the kingdom. We're looking for the city. But you don't have to look far, because look in the mirror. So